That's what I say. Right.
Okay, we're rolling. Yep.
Okay. Hi, Catherine.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, thank you. So, Red Riding Hood is a very dark gothic tale, much like Twilight. What is it that draws you to these kinds of stories?
Well, I think, I read the script. It came from Leonardo's, DiCaprio's company. They had the idea of like putting the werewolf back in it, which was in the old version of it, and that added this whole layer of murder mystery to the story, which I thought was intriguing, that someone has a dark side, someone who has a secret, is a murderer. And, in the middle of this girl that's just madly in love with this guy, her sister's killed. And so her world is turned upside down, and that just kind of drew me in. I thought the script was just a fun ride, and I was guessing the whole time. I thought this could be cool,
It was cool. And how does adapting a fairy tale compare to adapting a novel? Are there many differences?
Yeah, a novel like Twilight, of course, had readers all over the world that knew every single detail. But this fairy tale, is a very short little story, and there's all kinds of versions of it. So there was not like one definitive version that you had to follow this. So there was more room, I think, for the writer's imagination, for my imagination, the actor's imagination to really take flight.
Okay. And speaking of the actors, I heard that Shiloh had quite an interesting audition process involving your garage. Do you care to elaborate on that?
He did. I love Shiloh. I've met him, in the Twilight audition process, and he was one of like the top 4 choices, like Bachelor number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And of course, Rob and Kristen had that great chemistry. So I've been watching Shiloh, and then I like him, and I saw him at a party, and he goes, "I should come in for Red Riding Hood," and we didn't even know if it was going to happen or not. And I said, "Okay, you can come over to my garage, and we can do an audition for it." And he was great. He had like super long hair, and completely quite a different look in the garage.
Cool. So you've directed so many films that have such a resonance with young adults. What is it about you that manages to communicate the coming of age message so well?
Well, I think, my first movie was 13 that I started, and I wrote it with a 13-year-old girl, my friend Nikki, who was just going through all these kind of crazy troubles. And so what I just did with Nikki is I just tried to listen to her. Okay, what are you going through? What do you have to do? How is it like? And I was around all of her friends. I'd come over and have slumber parties and surf camp at my house and stuff. So I guess it's like, just trying to pay attention and listen and be a friend, and, maybe that's one way.
Okay, cool. And I've got one last quick question. Catherine, werewolves or vampires?
Well, I used to really like vampires, and now I kind of like werewolves.
Right answer. Okay, thank you very much. It's been lovely to meet you.
Thank you. Very nice to meet you.